Good afternoon and welcome on In Smite to fans of the Divine Combat League 3v3 Joust tournament. And I'm going to keep it a little bit brief since we're going to be jumping on into the action right away. My name is ZekVexol. Joining me here on the desk is Sovaliss as we take on a quick matchup of Team 4 versus Team 5. We gave him some extra spicy names, but we'll get to that once we get on into the matchup. Sovaliss, how we feeling? Ready to go?
Absolutely, and like you said, we're going to get jumping straight into the action, a little bit of stuff. We're not, unfortunately, going to see picks and bans, but honestly, let's just get straight into it.
I think it's time to get straight into it as well. Game number 1 of round number 1, ladies and gentlemen, kicking off underway right now. And as we're jumping on into the action, there's the gods. Isn't this wonderful? Honestly, Achilles and Kabrakan over on one end, along with Ra. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, we do have Hercules, Sobek, and Poseidon. And Sob, something that sticks out to me, and I'd like to hear a little bit of feedback from you, is the double tank meta has been a mainstay staple for how long in Smite and Smite 2 history?
Too long, if you ask me. It's been a good couple months, I think. I'd say that we've been seeing it. I know we've also seen in a couple of the other Joust tournaments a triple tank being the meta, although the rules are prohibiting that. So we've got both Ra and Poseidon being forced to play a full damage god, no defense items allowed, making them potentially easy targets. And what you can see on both teams with Kabrakan and Achilles compared to alongside Sobek and Hercules, they are both teams that are going to be doing fantastic jobs at getting to the DPS and hopefully punishing them. Sobek and Hercules obviously masters at displacement, with Kabrakan and Achilles being able to lock down that single target, force out and execute, even if they can't get to Poseidon. You know, one wrong step from that Hercules or Sobek, and that could be game for either of them.
And speaking of one wrong step, forcing the beats right away, that's what you got to worry about with that extreme displacement coming in from your Chaos side. Unfortunately, finally, it ends up getting recognized, and we get stopped before First Blood ends up happening, before minions end up clashing. There was a banned pick in that, so we will be end up going through a remake, and hey, that means we get picks and bans here in this lobby south.
Honestly, I'll take it. I will take it. Give us a little bit more. I'd like to see what their ideas were. I saw Pushka was on Aspect Poseidon before the remake. And now I'm not quite sure who was the band over there, but honestly, I love the Aspect Poseidon. I really do.
For those of you at home, a real quick, the Sobek was picked up over by our Team 5 by our Chaos side. Unfortunately, that is going to be one of the banned gods for this tournament. You know, a couple issues that are getting threaded through. No problem. We'll jump back into the action in just a few minutes. But now, hey, we have some time to talk about your Divine Combat League 3v3 Joust tournament, ladies and gentlemen. First place is going to be walking away with 1,000 diamonds per player. That's right, 3 zeros at the back end of that number. It's a 4-digit number. 1,000 diamonds. Each player, 3,000 diamonds for that team. Second place, 500 diamonds per player. You're going to get all the skins that you could want, and I think that's some pretty exciting stuff. I mean, hey, come in, play a game you love, and get some diamonds that allow you to buy some skins in a game that you love as well. Sob, what do you think?
Honestly, Joust tournament, you know, get together, a couple of your friends, have a good time. Even if, you know, we're making the teams for you this time around, you know, Wandering Markets are coming out. We've got a few other things potentially down the pipeline. You never know what high-res is cooking up. Having a little bit of gems, even if there's nothing that, you know, catches your fancy right now. Keeping a little bit of gems in the bank, a bit of extra spending power. You know, if you see that one skin, that must-have, you know, say you like Danza and you're like, ooh, there's a new raccoon skin coming out for him. I might need to pick him up, and those 1,000 gems are going to get you it.
Those raccoon skins, you know, they sneak up on you, so you got to make sure to keep your eyes peeled for those suckers. They'll hop out in and out of any trash can. I mean, they're great skins. The Danza has had amazing skins since his release, and obviously my favorite is his lovely little, you know, mob boss gentleman skin in the white suit. hoping maybe, but you know, a guy can only hope so much. We have seen a couple skins get ported over that I know tickle my fancy. I know I'm going to be spending my diamonds on them once I do hop back into the action myself. But if you want to join on in, if you want to get yourself some diamonds playing, guys, the Smite Game Discord, jump on in there. This is the big community public Discord here at Smite Game. Jump on into the action, join in on these tournaments. We're doing them regularly. Those signups will be available. We'll get more information to you on the next one following this event as well.
I believe we are ready to get straight back into our picks and bans. Get this started for real this time.
That's right. Let's jump on into picks and bans now for our Team 4 versus a Team 5 matchup. And we also get to talk about our funny names now, right? That we jump into the action.
I think so. We'll get a bit of time.
We'll give it a bit of time. We'll let the names settle in. Maybe the players will enjoy our puns as much as we do. But for now, it is going to be order and chaos. Is there anything standing out to you? So as we jumped into the action, we saw that both of these teams were wanting to shift towards that two-tank style with the carry, okay? And to me, that's no surprise. The one thing that stands out then in that case would be the Hercules, because this is a dominant pick when it comes to tanks. You gotta execute.
You got a team execute potentially. I mean, once you get started, there is no stopping the Hercules. Hercules is and always has been an absolute monster in Joust. He has quite literally everything. He can be played as a bit more of a hybrid for a burst and get behind them build. You can play him tanky. I am in your face. I've got my stun. I've got my heal. And the second you have 25% health, it's over. You are playing without 1/4 of your health bar. And there he is, straight off the start. The Hercules is picked up once again. I can't say I'm surprised.
I'm not surprised either. I'm more surprised that it didn't get banned away. Instead, it's going to be Bacchus and the Princess Bari banned away by Chaos side. Likewise, over on the opposite side, the Aphrodite and the Poseidon. We did see the Poseidon get locked in previously before we got into the remake, so no real surprise there. I'm a huge fan of this Poseidon pick. When I do see it, it's just explosive damage. You hit level 5, you rip out that Kraken. He can just move around. He's got good shred if you want to go and pull over the knight, you know, and knock down that. And there's just a lot of potential from a pick like this. The Achilles, though, locked in. Hercules getting hovered, and now that one getting locked in as well. It seems like your Chaos side wants to stick with that displacement, lock it down, and there's your double tank, Kabrakan and Herc.
Now, this Kabrakan was on Team 4 Order side before the lobby got remade, so they are stealing that out from underneath, saying, we're not playing your wall game whatsoever. You take our Poseidon, we are taking away your Kabrakan. And I gotta say, that is a strong front line coming out from the Chaos side. Obviously, you have displacement coming out from Hercules and Kabrakan. The second you're pushed back, Kabrakan's putting up those walls, preventing escape, and more importantly, preventing your allies from getting you out of there. On top of that, Kabrakan, the god of infinite stuns, on top of everything. Order's going to have to play a bit more of a peel game if they want to keep what's looking like their Neath alive. Honestly, solid pick. Very safe ADC, able to play back in range. Solid ultimate from anywhere. Agni coming in from the Chaos side now. Mr. Pokes a lot, triple bomb. Able to sit far back, similar to the Neath. Maybe not quite as safe with no CC immunity going into the Athena and Achilles. But ultimately, you've got a strong poke game on the Chaos side, and anytime Order's going to try to push back up, they're going to be met with a Hercules trying to bring them in even further. It's going to be a tough play for Order.
There's a lot of setup, a lot of lockdown over on the Chaos side. The one thing that stands out to me that I want to see happen is no baseball skin in the Hercules God Pool, just, yeah, you know, in his pocket. But Hercules, your pitcher, yeets the boulder on out, and Kabrakan with the ultimate just catches it with his ultimate and just locks down whoever's trapped inside. And as they get just pinballed around by the boulder. But one way to find out is to jump on into the action, ladies and gentlemen. It's time. We're here. Game 1 is underway. Team 4 versus Team 5, or as we're going to be finding out, Tacos You Can't See versus Pushka Button. Our funny little team name. See if you can spot the pun. Let me know in chat if you can find it on there. But what do you think so far?
I think Order is going to have to play this extremely safe. They are going to have to pick their battles carefully. Athena and Achilles, they have a great engage, but the team that Chaos, Pushka buttons, if you would, have set up can punish any misstep, any misplay. I mean, before the Lobbies remake, you saw that with the Raw immediately being forced to burn beads off the start and the fight for the red buff. Here we go.
Here we go. Pluck coming on in. Low HPs across the board, though. That is going to be first blood, and it gets picked up by the Achilles. Bliss ends up locking that one down. The Herc getting sent back to the fountain, but the action is not over yet. Red Buff is just kind of sitting there watching right now as the Cabrakan now getting locked on down. Forced to use the shell. Does end up getting out, but not for long. Bliss coming on back, getting himself a second one. That is a very phenomenal opening for our Order side team. Tacos without the C.
Absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong, Cabrakan, strong early game. Agni, unfortunately, not as much. That is a character that doesn't really get to play the game until they hit level 5. Agni obviously being well known as a bit of an alt bot. As an Agni player myself, out of your 6 abilities, 3 of them are locked until you take over to level 5. It really limits what he can do. He's got a nice stun. He can dash aggressively, but nothing that can't be punished. And unfortunately, he didn't find an opening, leaving both Hercules and Cabrakan to perish with little possibility to fight back.
Little possibility to fight back indeed. So 2 picks now going in the side of Order, and 2 picks in the pocket of the Achilles as well. And when this is that god we were talking about who gets that execute online, I gotta say, I'm gonna be a little bit worried if you allow this god to get over to level 5, take over level 5 before the rest of the team. Your team, level 5 team fight is going to be a wicked one at that. This guy's going to be going around. They're all 3 level 4 over on Order. Meanwhile, the Chaos side, Pushka button, still only level 3. They were able to get the red buff. They're just locking down the wave. They're going and securing the other farm now. And they're just in a very nice commanding position. And I gotta be a little bit worried once our first objective spawns over in that Lost Night.
Well, there is a little bit they can do, and although Achilles did just hit 5, you can see Chaos heading over there, using that health advantage to try to take purple. They do manage it. Order, Tacos can't see. Coming in, though, with the taunt.
Agni caught out in the back end. There she goes. There's the execute. A little bit more damage on the Hercules could prove very catastrophic, and there's the damage. Does not have the mana, though, to get the execute off. Doesn't really need it, though. Obscene Doogie ends up getting himself one as well. That's going to be 4 in the pocket of Tacos, you can't see. And now they're forcing them off of their own blue buff. I gotta say, I was very worried about going for the purple buff, but likewise, I'm very worried about sticking around with these low HPs going for these blue buffs. You know, for one side, for the Chaos team, you're probably stretching out. Go and get the safe farm while you can. Tacos, buddy. Taos, I'm sorry. No Tacos, no C. Getting caught on out. The Agni bombs raining in over the top. The last one connects. Pushka gets the last pickup. And honestly, I think that is the best case scenario for Pushka button.
100%. He got the shutdown on the Achilles. He manages to pick up the Neath afterwards. Their blue buff is still up as they're heading to it right now. Overall, they may have lost 2 extra kills there, but look at the gold. The gap has almost been cleared now. 300 gold diff. Shutdown gold is huge. And just while we have a moment, there's something I've noticed. It is Aspect Athena.
It is Aspect Athena.
What?
Okay, let's be honest here. Concerned or excited about it?
Oh, I'm a little bit of both. Right?
Yeah, okay.
Right? Because you've got Aspect Athena building into Sands of Time and a little bit of tankiness, but also strength items. We could see a potential hybrid build on this Athena going in for your Runeforged Hammer and oh my god.
See, the problem is not having the ultimate if you're going to try from downtown to eat the boulder. Here's the pitch of the windup. Down she goes, and Bliss is able to find a good return pick onto the Kabrakan. Agni Bomb's raining in over the top. Another pluck. This Hercules can't keep getting away with it. LegacyUnknown finds himself another one. That is, I think criminal is the definition I would use there.
A criminal indeed. That was such a good... I mean, honestly, no, that was just perfect from the Chaos side. Pushka buttons putting in the damage. This Hercules, LegacyUnknown. Guys, if you are watching this and you are playing them in the next round, assuming they win this, don't let them do this again. You cannot let them get away with this. Is that Shield Splitter?
We are seeing our camera person, Mort, over there, hovering that shield splitter. I should say the double shield splitter. I love these active items. And there's just, it feels like there's a lot of ways where you can get some damage off with items. And I think that's kind of nutty.
I mean, speaking of damage, though, or obscene.
Or obscene indeed. The Kabrakan walls lock on down Bliss, but it's not going to be enough. Instead, it feels like Abyssal taking a little bit too much damage. Obscene ends up going on down. The one thing about having the Athena aspect, you know, you can get that damage off and go in on a team, but you can't use it defensively to get yourself out of dodge.
You're right, but what I'm seeing, the Athena goes a little bit hybrid, builds a little bit of strength, you know, gets that the Runeforged Hammer, the new one, where it's basically a Hydras for protections. Maybe picks up their own Hydras, can ult in on the Agni, force out the dash, and if Legacy and Astarius aren't ready for it, chase him down and keep him out of the fight.
Keep him out of fight, lock it down. And so far, you know, you talked a little bit about the early aggression. You talked a little bit about how that gold lead was making its way on back. And I mean, take a look at that one. 14,000 to 15,000, 14,700 to 15,000. It's the exact same. It's like dead even across the board. You're getting these picks, but man, the reach auto from Obscene dashing on in. Execute is there. That's a double kill right now for Tacos who can't see. That is a little bit rough. The Agni holding the dash very good from Pushka there to get himself on out to safety. But are we going to see a little bit of tower damage? Yes, we shall.
We might see tower fall here. It is aspect niche, so that additional attack speed from breaking the weaves is going to be enough. T1 falling here at the 6-minute mark. Immediately putting Order back in a good position. 2K... almost 2k gold lead, about 1.5. Honestly, if they can sneak a it's Lost Night, I believe now, not BDK, and shut down that Phoenix, because unlike Conquest, it fully stops it down. They could start snowballing here a little bit. Pushka Bun's gonna have to play off the pick, but if Obscene is able to get that initiate first, things can slide down very quickly. It can go downhill fast.
Something I'm worried about as we see the dash on in. Agni Dash gets caught, though, by the stun of the Achilles, eating some good damage, but dealing good amount in return. Pushka going on down to Taos, getting that pickup underneath. The damage is there for Tacos, you can see, and now they're pushing in towards the Phoenix. This is the problem that I was about to mention. No tower, you have no safety, you have to run all the way down lane. You have no ability to safe farm right now if you're Pushka button, and I think that's going to be the danger aspect. Or if you're Obscene, standing up by the Phoenix on your own and lonesome with the two members who are dealing some good amount of damage, tanks albeit, but you know, that's that whole discipline at the end of the day. You got your pick, let's back up, let's get the farm, and let's make sure that they're not catching back up in tow. We're reaching that 8-minute mark. Gold lead pretty neutral, but I think pressure, I should say. I keep wanting to add K's to my sh sounds because of Pushka. Pressure leaning towards our order side. Tacos, you can't see.
Oh, he's going for it. Deciding against it. The pressure is absolutely with Tacos now. Rough little bit of the early game at the first tower line. Hercules getting some really good picks. Now the initiative is all on Tacos. You have seen some absolutely masterful engages playing off of the Athena. Beads burning, immediately diving on Pushka, not allowing that Agni to free cast. pretty much his main weakness without having any CC immunity in his kit. And
He can't keep getting away with this.
He's going to keep getting away with this.
He's going to keep getting away with this. That just shuts it down. I mean, take a look at this. Now look at Tacos. You can't see. Hey, let's back up. There's no farm up. We can't do anything. We can't even think about going towards Lost Night because, well, they're 3-man with an Agni who can easily steal that if you even think about it. I'm worried that Tacos, you can't see, is playing a little bit too far up by the Phoenix. We were talking about how there's no tower to retreat to for Pushka Button. Use that to your advantage. Make them come out to the farm to you because this Hercules has just been pushing you into tower, pushing you into tower, pushing you into tower, and it's just not stopping. And it seems like he's going to keep at it. Take a look at this. Look at the way he's pathing. I'm expecting a turnaround, but it's not going to happen if he gets within execute threshold. Down he goes. The Bracken walls are there. Another execute for Bliss, able to find himself a double kill. Now looking at Pushka, eyeballing the lone Agni, the lone mage, dealing a little bit of damage with the shield. Minions coming on in. They do have a hunter with them. This tower shred should be a thing to worry about, but Bliss eating some good damage, and yeah, you ain't surviving much longer, my friend. Down you go. A little bit of Phoenix damage, and that's all she wrote.
No, absolutely. They do not have to play by the Phoenix, but if they're going to do it, they need to do it together. They have to be ready to commit on the fight if Obscene gets pulled in. And that's what we've seen a few different times. If they are all there ready for it, they can fight even under the Phoenix. But when you're getting picked out, a bit of discipline, just hold on for a few seconds, let your team regroup, and the fight just turns so much in your favor.
Eating the boulder, gets the beads off of Taos, able to get himself on out to safety. You mentioned right there, you know, you're able to survive on your Phoenix. When we're watching these fights, the order side Tacos are winning these when it's out in the lane. As soon as we get towards the tower line, the Phoenix line, Pushka Button just takes over, and it just seems like they have that added safety, that added extra man, that 4th man on the field with their structure. So my question I need to ask, I need to rip this one. There's a little objective on the other side of the map that can kind of, you know, turn that thing off, right? Like, do we just look at that sometime this year?
They need to. They need to. What I want to see from Tacos can't see is wards all around their blue buff up to Lost Night, because you have Athena aspect. It's just like this. Exactly. Able to immediately dive on with vision into that Agni, and little bit of a combo. That Athena ult, they're taking extra damage during the channel. Neath is right there with another global ult that just needs the vision, is able to send that arrow flying.
Able to send that arrow flying, but take a look at this. Bliss pushed back into the tower line and gonna eat up some damage. But what is the damage being dealt to the Phoenix? It really just seems like it's a whole lot of not much. I mean, take a look at that one. Still at 2,000 HP. That's a lot. At this point, you're like, okay, we're kind of just tickling this bird ever so slightly. You gotta worry about this double tank comp. You gotta worry about the pressure that an Agni can deal by just raining bombs and fire over the top end, but it doesn't matter. Your double tanks are down. Abyssal falls, Legacy falls. The Agni ends up finding one, though Bliss not able to return on in. And again, this Agni survives. He is enough to be the lone defender when he is just burning down his opposition. Down goes Bliss. Pushka gets a double kill. Another one for the Agni.
Oh, he needs to back. This Neath is going to be getting that ultimate up very shortly. Oh, not quite enough damage, though. But like I said, they need to make a play for the Lost Night. Oh, well, maybe not. Neath able to burn down the Phoenix finally. Like, Lost Night not going to be as important as needed, although the stat buff regen is still always nice to have. And again, it is a good bait between Neath ult and Athena ult. You can place wards at their blue buff. Wait for them to start coming up. The second Agni pings on that ward. Double ult, jump on him. Get the pick before the front line can react.
Very good, and I think very fortunate for Tacos You Can't See to be able to knock down that bird without looking towards the Lost Night. I think, you know, you're in this difficult position where sieging into this double tank plus Agni team comp is proving very difficult, but they were able to make it happen. It looks like LegacyUnknown was able to get out by the skin of his teeth. Bliss uses the execute, unable to land the mark, but Abyssal eating some good damage. Doesn't have the ultimate available to block off anyone. Bliss is going to be able to get the cleanup, though, onto the Bracken. And with fire waves pouring on down, I feel like a Titan Siege is going to be a little bit I don't want to say easier than a Phoenix Siege, but like you can walk a Titan around. You can't really walk an auto-targeting Phoenix around.
Oh, absolutely. You know, any poke they can get onto the Titan is going to be beneficial for them in the long run. Although they are taking it safe, they are going for the farm. They want the red buff. They want the purple buff. Wondering if we're finally going to see a lost Nightpole. There's a teleporter right there, guys. Nope.
I don't
Nope.
think anyone's
No,
used it
it's
yet.
they have not used that teleporter, guys. If you are watching this and you do not know, Joust does have teleporters on each side that connect Red Buff and the Lost Knight. They are very usable. If you ever want to make any sneaky plays, you know, they might see you coming if you're on Lost Knight, you know, but if you teleport right behind them, just saying.
Story time with ZekVexol. If these teams are going to give me the opportunity to do so, a little bit of engage. The fireball's raining in over the top. Obscene, eating some good poke, and well, the Hercules knocks up. Second Ethos rips through, dashing in from the Agni though, and the Herc pushes on out. Does the Athena escape within that? No way. I don't want to say it, but the Herc dash might have done a little bit more damage than it did for the wrong way. Now 2 members down for your Chaos side. Titan under siege. Pushka all alone uses the beads to CC immune, and it is enough to kill off the Neath. Now you're expecting these 2 tanks to deal a little bit of damage to Titan, and a little bit, let's emphasize that word right there. Look at that one, walking around with 12,000 HP. Quite high and mighty he is.
Their only goal, if they can get the siege on this Titan, is push into the wave, prevent Pushka from clearing. But now you've got Hercules back up. You know, the 2 tanks, they're both kind of low. They're not going to get anything out of this. And Chaos side actually looks like they're going to get their Phoenix back up. They can just keep those minions cleared. No Taos to finish it off. This could be what Pushka Buttons needs to get stabilized and back into the game. The advantage that Tacos can't see is kind of fallen off here a little bit. The right fight from Pushka Buttons could flip this entire match on its head.
I think it was quite massive of them to get that Phoenix back. I mean, in a game mode such as this, where that minion pressure, any sort of pressure down lane is really critical, having that bird back up, relieving the fire minions is going to be a lot. Speaking of a lot, the damage ripping on through, but it's not onto your Chaos side, it's onto the Achilles, who's getting juggled on around, now burned on down by the Achilles, by the Agni dash. Fires rain on through, but it's Abyssal who ends up knocking down the final hit. Obscene doing his best to survive, get some good damage off Taos through the wall, wanting to get the kill onto the Kabrak, and leaps over the wall. LegacyUnknown finishes off the Athena, and now it's all down. Down goes Kabrak, and LegacyUnknown and Pushka chasing down Taos, chasing down this Neath, uses the backflip. Dash follows on through from the Yagni, unable to land the stun, but ends up getting on down with the Hercules. That is a Dia side, ladies and gentlemen. Pushka Buttons are making their way on back, making their way on down the lane, and they're eyeballing the tower for the first time this game.
They cannot let Pushka free cast like that. It is an Agni. He will burn you down. Doesn't matter if you're a tank. Doesn't matter if you're squishy. Enough penetration. You can see that Obshard and Rod of Tahuti is going to be giving him enough. Athena's just not going to survive it. Achilles is just going to be able to barely get out. It's a lot of penetration you've got. I mean, don't get me wrong. Tanks are strong, but you do at least have a few options. Pushka is making full use of what is available to them. Maybe now we'll finally see a fight around Lost Knight. Tacos can't see, realizing that pushing that Phoenix is not going to be an easy task, especially if Achilles is getting caught out like he is.
We're getting closer to this 20-minute mark, okay? In a Joust game, notorious as it may be, Smite 1, Smite 2, the issue is that these death timers are going to start getting longer. One lost fight can cost you. and your safety net is gone. That tower is gone if you are Tacos You Can't See. And now, even more so as your Athena gets plucked on into tower yet again by this Hercules. It just doesn't stop right now. Taos flips on into the blue buff, wanting to get a little bit of damage off while getting out to safety. But is he going to be enough to be the lone defender against the onslaught that is Pushka Buttons right now? Because Bliss is getting burned on down once more, shoved on back, doing his best to survive as long as he can. But is it going to be enough? Wants to try to survive so that we can get Obscene Doogie back up. But now, look at this, 20 seconds, 15 seconds now to go on the Athena. It all comes down to this, Neith versus 3 very healthy members of Pushka Button.
Still, you got 7 seconds on the Athena. The good news is Pushka Buttons does not have that Phoenix burn, but it doesn't matter if Neith is the one getting burned, run down by Kabrakan. A lot of damage being pumped out. Agni bombs don't quite hit though. Ooh.
One big issue right now is the lack of Phoenix damage for Pushka Buttons, and it's really showing. It makes you wonder, but I tell you right now, they have the god damage. Taos going on down. Pushka really just being a defining feature right now as the lone damage dealer, I guess, a lone carry on the side of his roster. I mean, with this Agni, Boulder raining on through, connects onto Obscene Doogie, but it's not going to be enough. Phoenix getting eyeballed once again, and the Phoenix goes on down, but Obscene Doogie will trade out Abyssal. So you get a pick, but now the pressure is at your front door.
The sides have completely flipped. It is now Tacos Can't See that are going to have to be playing the defense. The Golden XP have completely flip-flopped here in these last 5-ish minutes of the game. All took were a couple good fights. Tacos Can't See they had the advantage, they had the initiative, but that alone is not enough to finish the snowball. You need to learn how to convert, get your objectives, play together, find the picks. Again, last night we are 20 minutes in and not a single team has even autoed it yet. Nothing.
Yeah.
It has taken
I don't even
zero
looked in its direction.
The Titans have taken more damage than last night so far in this game.
Our mentality has no. No, you're entirely correct. It just feels like this Lost Night is, lost on the map. We need to find the Lost Night, get him in the Lost and Found, whatever it may be. I feel like I have to drop this ball as some analysis. Tacos You Can't See kind of needed to utilize Abyssal's death timer right there to stagger the death timers of their opposition, because take a look what's happening right now. You allow the 3 members to come back up to be alive, and they are just going to march down your team. But carry for carry, Taos for Pushka, both members down, and now it's a slap fest. This is the biggest slap fest that you'll see all day probably.
Yep. No, both sides realizing, well, one side realizing it's
yeah, they realize.
tile. Not even the execute being able to come out. It was used on the Agni, so there's... I mean, they're trying. They're trying.
I feel like Pushka Buttons wins this, because no execute right now.
Oh, hard agree. Hard agree. Taunt and stun, though, definitely, but Herc sustain. You're not doing damage past it.
Talisman used to cleanse is going to get the Athena a little bit further away. Wanting to taunt. Good taunt, though. Getting a nice double onto the 2 members of Pushka Button, the 2 tanks. Away goes the Kabrakan, running on back to his Phoenix, 1 HP. We know the execute's coming up, but we're not sure entirely when. And that was honestly a whole lot of not much that ended up happening there, for lack of better words. I mean, what do you do when it's just 4 tanks slapping each other like that?
You start jumping, if I'm being entirely honest. Just accept it, right? Like,
when you see the 2 SPL supports just standing next to you, they're like, I don't kill you, you don't kill me. Let's just jump around and
we're just chill, right?
Yeah.
Nothing, no love like support love.
ripping on through with the fire, though. Now we're back to the tower line, the Phoenix line of Talk, as you can see. I guess the prolonged fighting that it has been allowed them to get their Phoenix back up, so that's a net positive right there. Execute rips on through, gets body blocked, though, by Abyssal. That could turn this fight right around, but that is if they can't stop the damage from coming through. Pushka gets the dash on through, gets a good stun, the follow-up stun. Bliss ends up going down, but Taos finishes off Abyssal finally in this fight. Pushka now trapped on in, gets the dash on out. No Neath ult to finish it off. The Neath gets the backflip away. There's the Neath ult now. Gets onto LegacyUnknown, though. Low HPs across the board. Pushka still lurking around nearby. Now that Neath ult is off the table, is going to be able to step on up. Dashes, rains a firebomb over the wall, thinking that they were going through the jungle, but they were not. And what a 1-for-1. But man, there's the boulder. It ain't over yet. Taunt, down he goes. Taos finishes off LegacyUnknown.
And there goes Obscene. Over the wall, Pushka was still there waiting. This time the reverse. It is both squishies, the DPS, that are left alive. Taos, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Just leave. Let's go home. Go take a rest.
A little hot-headed, you know?
You're not pushing anything there.
You're not that guy, man.
I was thinking the same with Pushka. You know, he had, I couldn't even see his health bar. And he steps back up over the wall, granted, but a risky play. Risky play does pay off. Manages to pick up Scene.
What are you doing?
We're seeing wards placed out again? Yeah.
What are you doing?
No, oh.
Finally. What are you touching this Lost Knight for? Lost Knight has been found, but so have the members of Tacos you can't see. Taos goes on and down, and the Achilles is like, hey, yeah, we're kind of 2 members off the board now, but I'm going to get a little bit of damage right now into this Agni, hoping to get him within execute threshold, but he is going to have that dash available. Shell to make sure that he survives a little bit longer and is able to rip on through. Athena landing on down, thanks to that aspect, able to get some damage off. Beads from the Achilles getting in onto the back, onto the Agni. The body block is there for the execute. Bliss is down. Pushka gets that pickup, and it all comes down to the lone Athena. 35 seconds on the Neath, 58 seconds on the Achilles. I wish you the best right now. Will they knock down this Phoenix? Will they knock down the Titan? It seems like Pushka buttons want to put game 1 away, put round 1 away.
Get the minions in there, get the damage. You're not killing it without the backdoor. Without the backdoor mitigations being down. Agni is being dove. It's not quite enough. Maybe enough to save that female. Criminal.
Oh, that does. They saved the Phoenix up.
Yeah, they saved it. Obscene saved it.
Taos is back.
And got the kill.
Okay,
there's
so
no
let's you know what else is still, the Lost Knight's still standing. I will be honest, the Phoenix was the correct play there, but the Lost Knight's still standing, so we can still say that.
the Phoenix was the correct play. The execution was a little rough. So was the execution of picking up that Lost Knight. A single ward on the Lost Knight is fine, but there is a whole lot of space that Pushka buttons can come through. Speaking of, here they come again. They don't want to give this up for free.
Man advantage for Tacos you can't see. Good zone coming in from the Athena as the Achilles doing his best to tank down this Lost Knight and pump some damage into it. Bracken able to knock away the damage dealer of Tacos you can't see, though, but isn't going to be enough. This Achilles has stayed on the Lost Knight the entire time. The Agni, though, dashing on through, running on over 2,000 HP, 1,800, 1,500. The bombs rain on over the top, 100 damage. LegacyUnknown with the boulder, though, is going to be the secure they need. And down goes the Athena. The Agni damage is enough. He was able to get some damage off into there. Bracken zoning out the Neath. We got our first Lost Knight. The Phoenix is disabled. 2 members of Tacos you can't see are off the board. It's the 2 tanks. Can the lone Neath now make this happen? Can she survive? Can she find a pick? Can she keep them in this game?
It's going to be a lot trickier. Unlike the Athena that can set herself up, this Neath has to get a little too close for comfort to get their damage off.
Unfortunately,
What?
you got to get the damage off nonetheless, because the game is coming to an end. The Titan's HP is getting on down. Do we pad our stats? Look at the HPs across the board. The Titan's alive, 300, but that is going to do it. Not able to close it on out. Pushka Buttons have walked away with round number 1. They were able to return from the depths and bring it on back.
Great turnaround from Pushka Buttons. Rough start, a bit better. They came back, then they fell off a little bit again as Tacos Can't See got their stuff together, but unfortunately not enough. Tacos getting a little bit too excited at last night, a little bit too late in the game, if you ask me, giving Pushka Buttons the chance to capitalize on it. And I will say this again, guys, wards. Ward. Look, they had wards. They placed a lot. They did not place them correctly. One ward on last night is fine. You can know when the enemy is going to be there. All right, if they had the hallway warded, they would have seen Kabrak and Pushka coming in. They would have known what was about to happen.
Really great stuff. Round number 1 from Pushka, LegacyUnknown, and Abyssal Artorias. Our lovely little Pushka Buttons are going to be moving on into the next round. And as explosive as this game was, we have more action coming at you, but it's going to be after. It is best of 3. It is best of 3.
It is
We're going to be switching sides. Play again. More action right out of the gate. Exciting. Any thoughts now? Anything you want to be changing up now in this draft, Sov?
I think the draft is going to be very similar. I 100% see the Achilles being banned out this time, though. He was a problem. Don't get me wrong. The Athena was a menace. Great setup, great engage. But what it came down to was tanks couldn't be kept alive. And it was very annoying for Pushka Buttons to play around. They did manage it, but if I was in their shoes, I'd rather not have to deal with that again.
I think you hit the, right on the money right there. I think the Athena did Athena things. I mean, she got the taunt off. She got a good engage multiple times down the back line. And I think, you utilize this character as well as you could in a Joust scenario. I just felt like that Achilles was a bit too much to be giving up, though, as the trade-off. Because you got to ask yourself that kind of scenario of you get down into these 1-2-man, how should I say? You get down into these low HP scenarios. There we go. The thoughts are starting to come together. The train's leaving the station. But you get into these low HP scenarios, and we talked about it at the start. Having that execute available when everybody's really tanky, has a lot of HP. I don't got to get him to 0. I got to get him to 30, and then it's just bam, execute. And we saw multiple double executes, even just a single execute, to just completely turn around the fight and shift the man advantage towards one side. And I think that stands very true.
Absolutely. And I mean, flip side, that Hercules is not getting through.
Right.
There is no chance.
Okay. Does the Hercules not get through, or do we just stop walking up to the tower line against the Hercules? Like, which is it? Both?
Ideally both, because Hercules is not the only character that can do that.
Well, let's find out. We're going to be jumping on into picks and bans for game number 2 to see if things are going to be turning on around, see if our predictions are going to be coming on true. Pushka Buttons now leading the series 1-0 in this best of 3. And we talked about the Achilles. We talked about the Athena, the Hercules. I gotta tell you though, the Agni bombs raining in over the top and just being a massive zoning factor, I think was huge. It's like you look at the two polar sides right now of the carries for these teams. One side had this Neith. She's able to shred down the objective, shred down the tower, shred down the Phoenix. I think that looked really good. But then came into the actual siege scenario where we're trying to walk in against the firebomb over here, the stun over there, the Agni dashes away, the flame, it just felt like too much AoE control. The Hercules and Achilles both respectively banned, but that leaves open Princess Bari. That's a pick I don't see left open like ever.
That's a scary pick. That is a very, very scary pick. Princess Bari able to perform in honestly any role. ADC, ability damage, doesn't matter. She can do it. And then her ultimate, able to completely swing how a team fight is going. How about my entire team just suddenly is able to have a free Aegis if you're about to kill them? It's gonna be hard to play around. I'm not gonna lie. It is a scary pick. I'm honestly surprised they prioritized banning Bacchus over Bari. Maybe they were hoping that she wouldn't get picked up and they could snag her for themselves. Not how the dice have gone, though.
I'm kind of with you there. You know, I feel like this Bari is a little bit oppressive, a lot bit of oppressive, really, to be entirely honest. And I feel like the Bacchus has good merit and is one of those tried and true Joust pickups. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, you know, maybe one of the best gods in the game for the Bacchus. We could probably make an exception here. Ares and Odin getting locked in as the final 2 picks for our order side alongside this Princess Bari. And, you know, we talk about Princess Bari being an extremely strong pick. Ares or just received a little bit of a nerf, so he's not exactly at the point that he was. But Odin, though, I feel like this god is insane right now.
Okay.
I gotta be honest.
Agni cannot be picked up right now.
No, not at all.
There is no shot they try to play the Agni again.
Open
I
the
mean,
gates.
Okay, that's a bit better. That's a little safer. Not by a lot, but I can at least get out of the Odin cage sometimes. You've got Order, massive dive comp. They've got the beads burn on the Ares. They've got the cage off on the Odin. They have the dummy damage from Princess Bari. Looking over to Chaos side, now picking up the Hecate. If I was at Hecate, I would be nervous right now.
I think what I'd be doing is looking to see who doesn't have beads, who doesn't have CC immunity, and my ultimate covers the entire lane. I'm going to throw that ultimate. I'm going to throw it on out there and just rip somebody out, and we're going to get a nice pick off. But the only way to pick people, ladies and gentlemen, is to actually get into the action. It's game 2 time here. Pushka Buttons leading the series 1-0 versus Talkers You Can't See. Let's jump on in. Let's see it. Let's break down the action and let's find out if we're going to game number 3. Minions spawning in 30 seconds. Welcome on in, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2. Talkers You Can't See still going to be your order side, as you can see. Hello, Taos. And Pushka Button's still going to be your Chaos team, as we have Pushka Abyssal and Legacy. All right, walk me through the level 1 fight before we jump on into it. They're going to get into it quick.
They are indeed. So this is going to come down to Legacy and his use of the wall. If he can get that wall off, separate the fight, they can look and find a pick against Taco's Unsee. But if the Ares and Odin can just do whatever they want, which is apparently not going to happen, so Odin's already at half health and the red buff is being pulled.
Red buff being pulled, good damage ripping on through. Red buff does end up going on down. Shell's getting expended though, and it's just going to be the shell over for the Kraken. Still wanting to keep up, wanting to chase on down, but that is going to be the end of it. And it looks like red buff goes around the Princess Bari. That's a little scary, I gotta be honest.
Every part about Princess Bari is
just everything. Yeah.
Like, I mean, let's be entirely honest. Even if that fight, the damage didn't quite go their way, what's this Odin doing?
He's making an attempt right now to steal a blue buff right in front of the opposition, and I like the idea. The problem that I'm seeing is there's no Sunder available, and they unfortunately were not able to secure it, but do want to collapse onto the Kabrakan, but is it going to be a little bit too much bit off? And the Kabrakan is one, the Odin is one, the jump on in over the top, and first blood goes on down. The Kabrakan falls. Bliss gets that pickup. He gets on out of there. The Thor gets on out of there, 1 HP. Everybody's extremely low, but I think Tankos You Can't See are extremely happy.
Oh, they love that. They secured the red buff. They picked up the first blood. Yeah, they didn't get the blue buff. But Kabrakan picked up that blue buff before he died.
True.
So while they might not have deprived the XP and gold, they still don't have the blue buff. And that Thor is still very low, refusing to back, instead trying to find a pick through the grass. Hope he doesn't live to regret. Oh, hoped he doesn't die to regret
I'm
it.
about to say, I hope he doesn't live. Yeah, I hope he just dies and like, you know, finally getting himself out of there. And there we go. Back to base he is. All right, maybe I want to say we'll get a moment of a lull where we can talk about the aspects on these teams. And personally, I love the both of them right now for Pushka Buttons. I love the Thor aspect because having that on a hybrid Thor just feels so potent. Having your Thunderstruck just constantly active. And then the Hecate aspect to where she can just throw out her 2 and it just auto targets onto anybody who throws on an ability in this close range scenario. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I don't know how I like the Hecate aspect here, because it's just gonna auto target whoever uses that ability. There are going to be instances where you're trying to blow up the Princess Bari, and it just gets ate by an Odin shield.
I mean, we call that free real estate, right?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I get it. I get it.
You know, Hecate without the aspect has a lot of burst damage with building up that too, and could be used to coincide like with Thor's wall and stuff. With having the aspect, you are limited in what you can play off of when your Thor dives in, or when the Kraken gets the stun in the wall. No one's casting an ability when they're stunned, right?
Fair. Very fair.
So it is a little limiting in that aspect. Obviously, the plus side is you can just throw it and forget it. There's no building up the damage. You just put it out there, and when they try to do anything, they're going to get smacked.
It's a feels good thing. I mean, here, like, contest this wave. Nah, here, you know, just try to fight us. Nah, you know, it's just, I don't have to worry about this. It's going to hit someone the second anything happens in a fight. And I kind of like that. One thing I don't really like, I gotta say, Tacos You Can't See had a really nice start right there. They tick over level 5s, level 6s before Pushka Buttons even gets to level 5. I felt like a missed opportunity was there.
Absolutely. 100%. In Joust especially, a very brawly game mode, and such a strong lockdown comp coming from Tacos Can't See. They had a perfect opportunity.
Perfect opportunity for the Thor to go up into the air. The gates are open. Unfortunately, does not catch down onto anyone. The Thor lands on down, though, onto the Odin. Ares says, get over here. Pulls on in two. Down goes Pushka. Taos gets that pickup, and sayonara, my dear friend Kabrakan, you're next. Bliss gets that pickup as well. A nice little double kill for Tacos You Can't See, and that puts them at a nice little 3-piece on the board. Now happy to target the tower quite early on here in game number 2, but the Thor hammers on in there to clear the wave. I like the gusto, but I don't know if it's what you want.
Well, he might be paying the price for that, although so might... No, Bliss is able to walk out, tower barely tickling him. What's kind of shocked me is the Kraken obviously had to go Phantom Shell. They need it for the Ares. And goes Shield Splitter first item instead of Talisman of Purification.
Well, what I like about the Shield Splitter is, number one, Shell being such a prominent pickup for teams, the Shield Splitter is just, hi, I counter that. Number two, you have this Odin who presses 2, and what happens? He gets a shield. You know, bam, I'm going to counter that as well. I think there's a lot of ample opportunity for this item, and I like it. I like it a lot. And likewise on the opposition, over for the Odin, picking it up, you know, with the shell over for the Kabrakan.
The item 100% needs to be picked up. But right now, for the next, 2 more minutes, you can probably, if he's building enough cooldown, 2 more Ares ults where the Kabrakan is just free.
Speaking of free, Taos, a good night, goodbye. Dougie does not get sent back when the gates got opened, but now this Ares is in a very peculiar position. Lots of CC in the pocket of Pushka Buttons, but it doesn't matter when he makes himself CC immune. The Pinata says, get over into my tower, but Down he goes nonetheless. What do? We beat up on the pinatas. We just smack him around. The Odin is back, has ultimate available, sees a couple low HP targets, and wants to get himself on in there. Drops the cage, drops the shell, and drops his own HP to 0. Back to the fountain you go, my friend. And what a turnaround right now for Pushka Buttons.
That was absolutely
that slow turnaround from the Thor. He's like, did you say turn around?
Oh man, no, that was perfectly played there from Pushka Buttons. They got the pick, and then the Odin guys, I call it team rocketing because you're deciding to fight them one at a time. You know, now it's my turn because surely I'm gonna do better this time. You know, my level 12 Zubat is gonna be better than his level 11 one, and you can't do that, right? You guys, you lost the fight. You got picked. Take it easy. Go reset. There is very few worlds in which an Odin is going to find that pick in the 1v3.
Ambush attempt onto the Ares. I want to say attempt, but that ain't no attempt. That's a success right there. Pusha getting the pickup over onto the Ares. Going to knock him on down. Blue buff does get captured. The gates are open. Does not connect onto anyone. This Odin, though, does jump on in, making himself a very prime target. Gates sending the Thor right on back. He's like, hey, I mean, we'll make use of this ultimate one way or another. Rejoins his team, gets the pickup onto an Odin, and that's going to be another one in the pocket of Pushka Buttons. They're getting these picks. That right there, I think, was probably one of the best team plays I've seen so far from either of these teams over the course of the 2 games. It's that ambush. You know, I like that idea right there. These are teams that we kind of formulated together here for this event, so not a whole lot of team synergy. When I see that stuff, super exciting.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're just sitting there waiting in the grass. They were ready. They knew their targets. The Ares obviously extremely immobile, very pickable, only able to get out of the Kraknaut with Shell. No mobility, so Thor's wall, any sort of slow mez from the Kate is just going to be the death of him.
Shell forced, and so was the life of the Odin. Doing his best to get in there and just trying to stay alive, but it just doesn't seem like he's getting the value he's looking for. All 3 members of Pushka Buttons are alive. They're happy to fall back with this. They're getting picks left and right. They're getting the farm to boot at that, and they have in 1,500 gold lead. Not crazy sizable, but it's noticeable here in Joust. You got to think that's 500 gold in the pocket of each person. That's a tier 1 item at that.
I mean, what I'm looking at more is that XP difference. The Odin is level 7.
Yes.
2 levels down on the Thor. 3 levels down on the Kraken. 4 levels down from the Hecate and the Bari. 3 levels from the rest of his team. He is being starved out right now. And that is never a good sign, especially on a frontliner. His job is to go in there and wall people in just like that, except the opposite.
The gates have been opened once more, and down goes the Princess Bari. Bliss, Pinata goes and pulls on in too, right into the tower. The Kabrakan trying to get the trade does succeed, and that, ladies and gentlemen, though, is a deicide as the Odin falls as well. 3 members off the board. I do want you to take a look at the fact that, you know, you were talking about this Odin being a little bit behind. His death timer was like half of the Ares's because of where he's at right now. And to me, I think a big thing that sticks out in my head, slow down. You know, take your time. You don't have to rush this. As much as I say that Joust is an early game mode, you gotta just take your time. You gotta be patient. You gotta work together right here. The Princess Bari able to get on in there. Taos locks down Pushka. That's gonna be a nice shutdown for him. And the Thor who jumps on in is going to end up falling as well. Obscene Doogie is able to get on back because of that cooldown, so I guess it works out in his favor at the end of the day.
Hey, he got a full level off of it, but
feeding,
he does need to slow. Honestly, right? If I'm dead, the rest of my team gets all the XP. He's just trying to feed the Bari.
They return the tower as well. That's actually huge, and now you got to think this Kabrakan can't go anywhere. You're gonna have an Ares ult soon as well to pull him on back if he does.
But House is he's not there. He's prioritizing the red buff. Maybe a little bit of disconnect, but now overextension coming in from the Odin and Ares. Oh no, don't.
I think disconnect was the right word you used there. Bliss is going to end up falling. The gates are open, and Taos is gone once more. Pushka Button's able to just come back and bounce right on back. And
Are they?
we?
Are
If
No
they
way.
all three just turned to purple buff right there and just walked away, I would have lost the big picture. I'd be like, all right, we're ending. That's it. Go home. It's a lost night game. At 12 minutes.
That time. Beats out the like 23-minute lost night from first round. Definitely the right call. Puts them in the position, unless this Odin is. Nope, Great Wall coming in from the Thor, and now they want blood.
Unless this level 9 Odin is what? But what about this guy? Down goes the cage. I wish you the best right now. The hammer rips on through, but it's not going to be enough. Princess Bari does drop her ultimate as well. They're going to get out to safety, be able to reset, but this is a very difficult position. Now you're 3 ultimates down. Soon you're going to have the Ares ultimate back up, so that's cool, but the gates are available. Yeah, I can see a Hekate ult doing exactly what it's doing right now. Yeah. We're gonna pull in the Bari, and down she goes. Ladies and gentlemen, Pushka Buttons is running on through with this game.
Oh, Pushka Buttons, they have found their momentum. They have found their vibe for being a team that has been just kind of thrown together for this event, like all the other teams. They found it after one game. They are playing fantastic together. Playing off every CC, every pick. They are moving together. Look opposite with Tacos, and you've got 2 of them pushing up Phoenix while the other's on a red buff.
You know, I'm just seeing the damage ripping on through. Phoenix down, Titan looking to be the target, but I love this. You know, you talked about how Pushka Buttons, you know, they're finding their stride. Take a look at the patience right now. This is something we didn't see in the last game. It felt like both teams were kind of just throwing their bodies at each other in a lot of different scenarios. And it was like, okay, this didn't work out. Okay, that didn't work out. Here, hey, let's just back up, get some farm, you know, spend the gold that we just earned. Now that we are 3,000 gold up, that's going to be 1,000 for each person. You're feeling pretty good about this one right now, and then we're going to walk back down with a fire wave. Then we're going to go and just take your Titan, because we can do that.
Absolutely. And guys, and this is something that I always try to tell people, push when you have a power spike. You know, you get Fire Giant, go finish an item, then push. Put yourself ahead. Listen, a gold lead is only going to have any sort of effect if you spent it.
That's right. Money is only useful if you spend it.
Wait. Exactly. The gold in the pocket is not. Yeah, guys, don't save. Go out and buy. Specifically,
buy
more skins. Buy skins, guys.
Buy more skins.
Specifically with the 1,000 gems that you get from this tournament if you manage to be the winner.
I will see if Pushka Buttons is the winner as the Thor lands on into the back line. The gates are open, but the beads are there from the Princess Bari to keep her from getting pulled on in. Will she make it on out to safety, though, is going to be the big question. I guess it's more so the big question for the Ares. Gets dropped as the target walks back in, though. Bliss is unfortunately going to end up going on down to the Kabrak, and Absun Doogie gets stunned. Hammer rips on through. 1 HP from the shot from Pushka. It's not going to be enough. I'm telling you right now, if he had his 2 up in the air, what happens? The Odin goes to throw his 3 for the stun. Oh, down he goes. Down he goes.
He's done. If he died there, I would 100% call this as game. Now, I think the best we can look for is a bit of poke on the Titan. Bari obviously pumping out a lot of damage, but if Odin falls, it's not look good.
If Odin falls, when Odin falls, down goes the Odin. The shell expended, though, from Pushka Button. 6,000 HP on the Titan is about half HP. The Princess Bari able to get on out, get back over to the fountain. Now about 4,000 HP left on the Titan. Time is ticking down. Pushka Buttons want to wrap this one on up in 2. They're going to pull in Taos. Pushka gets the pickup right there. Bliss back from the grave, back to the grave. Pinata, knock him on down. Team Beads is there, takes nobody with him. Down he goes, and before the Phoenix revives, Pushka Buttons are moving on to round 2.
Oh, there we go.
I was about to say, did I open my mouth too soon?
Does the Odin clutch this? Unfortunately, the answer is no, not quite enough. You know what? Still 4 levels down compared to that Hekate. Even at the end, that's not a good position, especially as a tank. You are supposed to be the front line, but you can't survive anything. You don't have any items. You don't have any health.
Exactly. And it really seemed like tacos you can't see. We're just like jumping the gun. And for Obscene Doogie's case is actually jumping, just jumping on in there, getting aggressive. And you got to reel it on in. You got to slow things down because, yes, Joust is a very fast paced, early game clad type gameplay. But if you don't reel it in, if you're not playing together as a team, you can see how quickly things can fall apart. And I have to say, Pushka Buttons, game 1 to game 2, it was night and day, okay? They came together. They figured out what they needed to do. They played like an absolute unit. Here I am sitting here like, okay, well, if Obscene Dookie's going to be jumping, getting on in there and just trying to use his jump to get away, I'm opening the gates there. I'm like thinking like all these different things that I would be doing. And then I watch what they're doing and I'm like, oh, I actually really like what they did there. I felt like every single time the Hecate could, she's throwing that ultimate over onto Taos on that Princess Bari, forcing the beats, forcing her, or pulling her right back in, I should say. And then, immediately there's a Thor ult, there's like a Bracken ripping out through. It just felt like things were done in synergy, in tandem. I loved every bit of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they figured it out fast. That is a team that has a good stride, as you put it together, and it just let them carry. They had the initiative pretty much that entire game, as you were saying. That Hecate's ult, absolutely perfect. Almost every single one was landing exactly on who and where it needed to be. And at the end of the day, like, I don't want to keep ragging on Obscene, but it's great if you can go in and get a CC off, or you can trap someone, but follow-up matters. It is more important than the engage, I would say. You can have a 5-man Ares pull, but if there's no one around, it's not going to mean anything.
It's not going to mean anything. Follow-up matters. So, ladies and gentlemen, follow up with us. In round number 2, we are going to be taking a quick break before we get back into the action. So we'll see you in just a few minutes with more Divine Combat League 3v3 Joust Tournament.
Hey there, thanks for watching DCL, the Divine Combat League. In case you're wondering what this is, Divine Combat League is a competitive outlet ran by the official Smite Discord server. These tournaments and events are made for members of the Discord, where players of all skill levels can give it their best, with hopes to win it all and take some diamonds for their well-earned efforts. Our goal is to provide a competitive outlet for the casual player. If you're looking to join in on the fun, you can join us at discord.gg/smitegame or scan the QR code on screen. These games are also broadcasted on the DCL Twitch channel by our in-house production team. We've got both experienced casters that are longtime members of Smite and some newer names that are looking to emerge onto the scene. If you're looking to join the team, fill out a ticket in the server and let us know. Our staff will be more than happy to help. Thank you all for watching and supporting Divine Combat League.